Yep, Joe Byrne, and I'm the president of the FRSA, and my company is BRI Roof Consulting. I'm out of Palm City, Florida. It's been quite an honor, being the 100th president of a great association like this. Started in 1922 with a few companies trying to get together to work on, workman's compensation, insurance, supplies, all that kind of stuff. And then it expanded over the years. Some of the problems that they had 100 years ago, we've experienced throughout the years, either at 25 years or 50, 75, and 100. It's all the same problems: labor, material, insurance, regulations.
Yeah, a lot, right?
And there's a lot of regulations that really don't make sense, and we have great committees that keep on top of it. We have our lobbyist, Chris Robinson. He keeps us informed of what's happening in Tallahassee, all the rule changes, regulations, stuff like that. And then we have our codes committee, and we have our code subcommittee. So we keep our finger on the beat of the industry to see what the changes are going to be. And then we also submit, to the code bodies, different things in the industry to make it better. Not that they'll take what we're saying, but at least they consider it. In some cases, they do actually take it. My company, I was in a contractor for 35 years.
Okay.
I've been in the industry 51 years. And so now I'm using my brain instead of my back.
Oh, very nice, okay.
So I write roof specifications and bid documents, and I have a whole roster of licensed and insured contractors that bid the work, that have great experience modifications for their insurance, because most of them are members of the self-insured fund for the FRSA. It's tough right now. Like I said in the beginning, the same problems they had 100 years ago are the same problems we're having now today, especially with material shortages, fuel, deliveries. The whole industry is being turned upside down right now. We don't have a positive timeline when materials are going to be delivered. And a lot of times what happens, it's a trickle-down effect, because it's not the roofing contractor, it's not the supplier, it's not the manufacturer, it's the raw materials that are made into the products, with oil being a big one. And so go to the gas pump, fill your car up. Think about us poor roofers out here trying to get asphalt.
Yeah, that's a lot.
I don't agree with some of the changes, because the insurance industry right now are taking homeowners and property owners and telling them that their roofs need to be replaced when they don't need to be. We have a trend right now where they're dictating that if it's a 20-year roof and it's only 10 years old or maybe 12 years old, they're telling you to replace it, which is wrong, because we're going to be taking all this stuff to the landfill. The environmentalists aren't going to like that. But the whole thing in a nutshell is, why are they dictating to us that these roofs are reach their life expectancy when the manufacturer tells you they either have 20 years, 25 years, 35 years. And they do have some statistics, I think a little one-sided, that shows that their research is saying that they have more problems with roofs that are 6, 7, 8 years old. I find it hard to believe, but the one thing that insurance did start to do right is legislation was changed for this AOB insurance. That's assignment by benefits, and it's working a lot, because the people, the homeowners, the insured, are starting to understand it. After a storm, a lot of these unscrupulous roofers were sweeping through the neighborhoods, putting a piece of paper in front of a homeowner who was desperate to get a roof put on. They signed their rights away without even knowing it. They didn't read it. And so now legislation's been passed, and we're going to, hopefully not see it anymore, although it's still happening. It takes a while for everything to take effect. But it's good for the homeowners, property owners. Well, I'll tell you what, if you're part of the FRSA, you're a quality contractor, because our logo is price it right, do it right. And through all our education, through continuing education and everything, that's what we, that's what we get taught. And we have apprenticeship programs that are mainly through the FRSA in conjunction with the ABC or the Associated General Contractors, and that helps to, educate the workers to have them be able to install it properly. And then we're licensed. Everybody has to be licensed in the state, through the state. So you have to be a licensed roofer to actually install the roofs. And that's a good thing because there's regulations. And then we have the Florida Building Code. So you have the licensed roofer, you have the Florida Building Code. I mean, what more can a building owner ask for? Because everybody has to do it. Now, there is a segment of society that will go with the, I don't know if I can say this, the Home Depot and the Lowe's crowd where they sit out front and look for a day's work, and people hire them, then they get a bad job, and then they complain to the authority having jurisdiction saying that their roof is messed up, and then the first thing they usually ask you is, what's the name of the roofer and what's his license number? So you don't have the name of the roofer, or you may have it, no license number, no insurance. And I talk to people all the time about that you want to make sure that whoever you're hiring to do anything on your property, they're licensed and insured and have the proper insurance. Because if anything were to happen to any of those workers while they're working on your property and they don't have the proper insurance, you're the one that's going to pay. So if it's a fall and it's either a death or an injury, the homeowner's liable or the building owner's liable. So it's very important to check to make sure they have the proper insurance. And with a lot of these PEOs out there, which is employee leasing, you have to be very careful because when you get a policy, it'll have the roofer's name on there or the company name, and it'll also have maybe the leasing company or something to that effect that they're leased to the contractor, which is well and good. But the other part of that story is you got to get the roster of the employees that are actually covered under that work comp policy.
Okay.
So if they get a roster of employees and there's 6 names on that roster and you have 12 guys on the roof, 6 of them got to go. The thing I'm most proud of with what I've done for my presidency is to see the implementation of some of the code changes that we were able to actually get on the books. And then the other thing is with our lobbyist, Chris Robinson, I told you, he keeps his thumb right on the heartbeat of what's happening in Tallahassee, so we know what bills are going to get passed and what ones are going to fail and why. And so to me, there are 2 things, the codes and the lobbying to try to get everything on equal playing field for everybody. And that's what I'm really most proud of. And the apprentices that actually enroll in these programs. And we have our technical director, Mike Silvers, who throws his time in to help these men and women to learn this stuff. And it's a hands-on thing. That's how you learn. Classroom's one thing, hands-on is the other thing. So that's pretty much what I'm most proud of. Well, one thing I want to say is happy 100th anniversary FRSA. And we're celebrating the American roofer. We're the best.